Blue Bloods is one of those comfort shows for many, since it has been on for many years, but the cast and plot lines don't change often enough that if you miss a few episodes, you'd be lost. That seems to be changing though, now that Nicholas Turturro has left the show. Today we break down what happened to cause him to leave, as well as some other Blue Bloods news. That's all coming up right now. The crew talks about the infamous dinner scenes. Blue Bloods has endeared itself to many, which is why it still does so well in the Friday night time slot, mainly due to how humble and grounded the show attempts to be. This is no more obvious than the family dinner scenes that plays out almost every episode. In those scenes, the whole family settles down to talk about their proceedings throughout the week, as well as to catch up with one another. The scenes have turned out to be a big hit with audiences, which has come with some unintended consequences. Tom Selleck himself has talked about how terrible the days that they shoot those scenes to be, but why are they so brutal? Unintended problems with the dinner scenes. Tom himself has conceded that the cast takes the scenes very seriously and that they would be appreciative to be able to consume actual homemade food together. The only problem is that they end up eating from anywhere between 6 to 8 hours at a time. You see, the dinner scenes are the only ones on the show in which every cast member must be available for the same day, making for some serious scheduling headaches just to get everyone together. Because of how difficult it is to schedule when everyone's together, they must make it count, meaning that the Blue Bloods dinner scenes for the season are all shot in a single day, making for a really long and drawn out kind of process. They don't even use real silverware. The answer is no. The forks, knives, and all silverware are not real. But what is weirder is that they actually used to be. The crew has since decided against it, however, since the noise caused by the clinking of glassware and utensils was too much to consistently deal with. Tom Selleck says that he doesn't mind that they don't use real knives except when it breaks and a piece of meat he tries to cut through, which he says happens with the fake utensils quite often. That isn't even the weirdest revelation about what really goes on behind the scenes of those dinners. Eating for 8 hours. Almost all the cast members of Blue Bloods say that the absolute worst part of shooting those scenes isn't that they have to do them all in one day or that they have to use fake silverware. The cast actually thinks the worst part of the experience is having to eat for basically an entire workday, all the while pretending like you're hungry and eating the best food in the world. The actors say that by the time they're done filming, they feel stuffed, bloated, and excited to finally be done eating. I guess I can't blame them either, as the thought of eating the same food all day, especially considering it's meant to look and not taste good, is probably a pretty big drag. Why did Nicholas Turturro leave Blue Bloods? The cast of Blue Bloods has become pretty close-knit, and as much as the role is still a job, I wouldn't be surprised if much of the cast have become friends with one another, especially as the show now enters into its 12th season. That's why when Nicholas Turturro decided to pack up and leave Blue Bloods, many were wondering if something weird was going on, and if maybe the cast wasn't as close as we all thought. Nicholas Turturro may not be a household name to many, but he is one of the most active actors out there today. And so, if he couldn't make it on set, who could? But before we get into all that, we should probably ask, is there any truth to the rumors? A sudden departure. It's hard to say for sure whether other factors played a role in Nicholas leaving the show, but we have a pretty good guess at what the primary reason was. But first, a little background. Nicholas's character on the show is focused on nurturing a relationship between him and character Jamie as he got his feet wet as a New York City cop. Fans enjoyed how Nicholas's character could both be a jokester at times and give Jamie a good-natured ribbing, as well as serious advice when the time arose. For the first 6 seasons, Turturro remained a regular on the show before suddenly departing, with neither he or CBS offering an explanation about what happened. We haven't really heard much in the years since he left, but it now seems clear that the real reason was that Nicholas was too ambitious to remain idle on a television show like Blue Bloods. Nicholas is one of the busier actors out there, and so as much as people wondered if it had something to do with beef or potential drama among the cast, Nicholas himself has said that he would happily reprise his role in the future should the need ever come up. Doesn't exactly sound like a guy who didn't enjoy his time on the show. Waylon Gates returns to the show. Recently, actor Donnie Wahlberg, who plays Danny on the show, teased that actor Lyle Luckett will be returning to the show to play Waylon Gates once again. For those that may have forgotten or missed him the first time, Waylon is a Texas Ranger who heads up to New York to help solve the Texas Lone Star Killer case that debuted back in 2020. At the end of the episode, Waylon and Danny actually become friends, and as a token of their newfound friendship, Waylon gives him his his hat as a sort of memento. At the time, the two's chemistry on screen caused many to openly wish that Waylon returned, and it looks like they won't have to wait long at all for them to meet up with their favorite Texas Ranger. This is technically classified as a rumor, but their convos on social media, as well as leaked photos of Lockett on set of Blue Bloods, all but confirm that we will see his character once more next season. And frankly, we can barely contain our excitement. Jamie and Danny's shifting relationship. At the core of the Reagan family is an NYPD badge, and although that has brought them together and is a career path almost all of them currently are or have in the past pursued, it's looking to be yet again a double-edged sword for them too. In a new episode of Blue Bloods, Jamie will serve as Danny's handler, a dynamic that is sure to cause some fireworks between the two, as Danny doesn't exactly have the best track record for handling orders, especially to his little brother. The shift will be an interesting one because it feels like only a matter of time before Danny and Jamie will butt heads again, especially given how both have excelled in police work before, albeit in pretty different ways. Look for this to have a ripple effect on the family, as them being at odds will drag other Reagans to have to pick sides. Are we heading to a stopping point? The question gets floated along by fans whenever a show hits the double-digit mark for seasons, but Blue Bloods seems like one of those shows that just isn't going anywhere. And so if you're a fan of the show and are worried that it might be on the chopping block soon, I would breathe a sigh of relief. The show is in a perfect time slot where it excels, and CBS has usually given their legacy shows a wide berth before pulling the plug. As long as people are watching the show, and that hasn't ever been a problem for Blue Bloods, it'll still get renewed time and time again. Except at least a few more years or a major cast member to leave before people start seriously discussing the show's end. Are any actors getting ready to split? Unless you count super small character Armin Janko, who was recast after the previous actor decided he no longer wanted to be on the show going forward, it doesn't seem like anyone is in danger of booking it once season 12 wraps in a few months. The main cast has actually grown closer instead of drifting apart, which is a sign that the show and all its pieces are truly clicking. Blue Bloods is in a perfect spot right now. The actors are mostly content where they are, and their star, Tom Selleck, doesn't seem like he really wants to deal with the movie grind anymore, which is a great sign for the show. Blue Bloods is arguably the most stable show on television right now, and sometimes there's nothing better than a little stability when you turn something on after a long day. And that's it for our video today. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment down below, let us know. As always, leave a like if this video taught you anything, and subscribe for more videos just like this one released literally all the time. That's all for me today, guys. Have a good one.